Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
That was our great Marco Polo opening. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yes.
Hey, AfterBuzzers, how are you? Welcome to the Marco Polo After Show. This is a bit of a special. We're 6 months early or 2 months late.
Yeah, however you want to look at it.
We couldn't be more premature for season 2, but thanks to Netflix, Marco Polo released a special, a 100 Eyes Origins special, little half-hour special. So that is why we're here to discuss it and get you guys excited about season 2 a bit prematurely. So without further ado, let me introduce our lovely panel. This is the 4 of us are going to take very good care of you guys throughout season 2.
We're going to try.
We're going to try. So I'm your host, Kimberly Crossman. You can find me on all things social at Kim Crossman.
Hey, I'm Michael Andrew. You can find me on Twitter at Michael_Drew, Michael EAL underscore. Before I said Michael Drew. It's Michael_Drew for my Twitter.
I have no idea what your handle is right
Oh,
now.
well, it's Michael Drew. Michael_Drew, Michael EAL. Welcome back, guys. All right, Katie.
Hey, Michael said your hi so passionately, by the way. I couldn't even top that. Hi, I'm Katie Wilbert, and you can find me on all social media things at Katie Wilbert.
Awesome, and I'm Taylor Bolt. Mine's a little bit more complicated. You can find me on Twitter at Taybolt, that's TAYBOLDT, or on Instagram at Tbolt, also BOLDT.
There you go. And we've got Zach looking after us. Hi, Zach.
Hey guys, looking forward to a good show.
Yeah.
So if you guys are listening or watching, make sure you rate us, give us a good thumbs up.
Yes.
And communicate with us. Use the hashtag ABTV Marco Polo if you want to talk to any of us or hit us up. We're excited to know, especially your predictions for season 2. So let's kick into it.
Yes,
the 100
please.
Eyes.
Yeah.
So this is a prequel. I was curious about what they were going to do with it, and I was like, oh yay, they're going to tell us the story of 100 Eyes, because you weren't here with us for season 1.
I'm joining season 2.
You're
I'm
joining
glad
with
that we
us.
have this sort of like testing ground
Yes.
for me here.
That's quite
yeah,
nice,
it's nice,
isn't
right?
it?
We have an
Yeah.
origin story, so I get to sort of dip my toes in the water with
And if
you
you're
guys.
not good, we'll replace
Exactly.
it.
Right?
Go ahead.
So, pressure's on.
So,
No,
right?
I'm very happy to be here. Thank you
Just
guys
like
for
the
having me.
Mongolian dynasty. If you're not good,
Dynasties come and go.
we'll have you trampled by horses.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
a
Great,
standard way to
great.
die, I think. Good, let's do
This
it.
is standard.
Standard in the Mongolian Empire.
Well, the 3 of us are huge 100 Eyes fans. So anytime he would come on in season 1, we're like, this guy is so badass and composed.
He's a dope character.
The fight
he's
scenes,
real cool.
the final fight scene with Sidao. Oh,
Yeah.
Just,
I mean, I love
So
any
good.
sort of. I love kung fu in general, but when we start getting into like a series that involves kung fu, I absolutely love that. I did the End of the Badlands thing, and that was like Daniel Wu's kung fu series. This one's another one. I watched season 1 before I had ever thought of doing the after show, and it's just, you're so excited for 100 Eyes to come in and just kick some butt.
yeah, and
Every episode.
And every episode, it doesn't. I'm glad that the fighting doesn't drop off.
No,
You know what I mean?
no,
It's very,
yeah.
it's cinematic through every single.
It's just really well
Yeah.
done. I mean, it's just all of it's really well done, well choreographed, and then well executed. I love it. And
Do you
this,
do kung fu?
do I what?
Do you do kung fu?
I've done some. So I've done.
That's like a weird pickup line.
Do you do kung fu?
You do
Well,
kung fu? It's like a voice. Red
Funny you
leather,
should
yellow leather.
ask.
Do you do kung fu?
I
You should
mean,
try that.
I asked because we found out earlier that Taylor has been to Tokyo.
That is
Yes.
And
true.
so I thought if you love kung fu and you've been to Tokyo, maybe you perhaps are a kung fu master, in which case I will slide this way.
So what I will say, and let me give me a second to follow through on this. I am a black belt, actually.
Okay.
But I got my black belt when I was like 7, so I know if I got into a fight today, none of that would
All
come
that
out.
muscle memory's gone.
No, it's
Well,
so gone.
I
I
don't
was
know.
so young, but I still have the belt. I keep it with me,
Oh, so you could just like.
so I can just show people,
Does it
just so I
mean
can
that
see him. Like more of a badass.
Oh,
than
this
I
is just
am, I
my
guess.
black belt. I'm curious then, and then we'll get into the show, but do you feel like you have more respect for the moves and stuff they're doing, having, dabbled in that kind of training before?
Yeah, I will say I've done enough of it, and I've done a lot of stage combat and stuff. I still actually do that. I know I've done enough of it to know how hard it can be.
Okay.
I respect it a lot.
Sure.
And just how much time you have at your disposal, how good the choreography is, all of that makes a huge difference. But actually executing it is a skill. I mean, it takes talent and skill and years of practice. So yeah, I have immense respect for 100 Eyes, as it were, and for anyone that fights on screen like this.
I was gonna say that's funny because I have the same amount of respect, but not because I know martial arts, but because like when I'm in my living room and I try to practice it, like when you watch something in a movie, like, oh, that's crazy, and you imagine yourself fighting, and then you do a spin kick and you fall and you like bust your ass.
Oh, I know.
And, like,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's like watching basketball. Like, oh, that looks easy. Then you try to do it.
Yeah.
Why do you think my mom stuck me in karate in the first place?
Yeah.
When I was 4.
Yeah.
My kid is ruining our house.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
I do that with beatboxing.
Beat up 4 guys for easily.
Yeah. Well, in the opening scene, we see 100 Eyes literally kill 25 trained soldiers. I mean,
No big deal.
Yeah.
What a great way to open it. I was like, cool, this is an extensive fight. Like, he's
They
a
could have done
badass.
26. But
Can I just say I was so impressed with how much Netflix put into this as sort of just being this offshoot. It wasn't part of the season, but to get hype going, it's half the time, but it's well done. It's of the same quality that we've come to expect from this show.
Yeah, that's like the Netflix. That's like their template. They really believe in a show and they go all the way in, because technically the first season it didn't really get that great. The reviews were very mixed. It was it wasn't as universally loved as say on many of the other Netflix shows. But the fact that they still did a second season and they still put this much into it.
Yeah, it's almost like they're trying to give it like a little extra bump by releasing this and featuring it so much on the Netflix app.
And it's an expensive show.
It's an expensive show.
Yeah.
I love it.
I thought it was great. I liked how they showed this story. I think it was really important because I had a lot of questions with 100 Eyes, like where he stood. I know at one point we were questioning whether he was going to try and overthrow the Khan too. So I think it was really cool to kind of see this backstory. And I'm curious to know what you guys think at the tail end of it. I question his loyalty now to the Khan. Knowing the story, I don't see him as a solid ally.
Yeah, I'm not sure I did anyways in the first season, because they allude to some of this. I was sort of expecting to see a lot more of his backstory in season 2, and I love the origin stories that we can actually see it rather than just like hearing little bits and pieces as we go through the next season. So I actually hope there's more origin stories for some of the other other stuff. I don't know. I would love to see
like the Ahmed one, maybe.
or or
That would be
Jedi
we're gonna.
or something.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna.
Yeah, right. Maybe for season 3. I'm gonna go ahead and forecast a season 3. A little premature, but oh well. Prematurity is a theme tonight. I think that. I don't know. I love this character, and I'm glad we got to see some more. But in such an interesting way, because you're immediately entranced by this guy who kills 25 people and then is torn from his. What it did for me is it showed me his loyalties more specifically. So I don't necessarily believe that I don't trust him around the Khan now, because his loyalty isn't necessarily to China. It's to his religion. It's to his temple. And it's not like he doesn't have that. It's not like his temple might not have a safe place in a Khanate, Yeah. But it definitely makes his personhood more complex. It makes his loyalties more complex, I think.
I definitely see him as a superior, and I think it's, we'll move to the scene where he's first placed in with the Khan, and he mentions those who try to take his place, talking about God or any God, whoever it is you believe in, will injure their hands. And the Khan says, "Do you not fear life?" And his response is, "I do not cling to life. There is a difference." And I was wondering, Michael, kind of your stance on that interaction. And it's kind of one of these moments where we see 100 Eyes and we're like, "Oh, you're so wise. Like, what could possibly shake you?" And I just wondered if that quote or that scene, kind of what your thoughts were on it.
Well, 100 Eyes.
Oh gosh, here we go.
He always drops a jewel
Yeah.
upon my soul. He always drops it. all it did to me was this entire series. It gave me two thoughts. The first one was, why are they showing so much of 100 Eyes? Why are they doing a prequel for 100 Eyes? It made me think that something might be up with him. Like he might not make it past season 2. You know, or I was thinking that maybe this was actually shown in season 1. They just didn't have enough time to show it, so they just you know, it's kind of like a DVD special, but they just gave us a special. Yeah. That's what I was kind of thinking. And to really answer that, I liked it. I mean, I like the. I was kind of afraid that that he was gonna say something so metaphorical that just meant that he's gonna get like his eyes just like plucked out or something. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it didn't. But the Khan didn't go in that direction. It wasn't as violent as I thought it would be. The way he blinded him. You know. One
thing that I thought was really just so interesting though is how he handled it as it was happening, where he like sat outside and listened to the screaming. You know, that to me was just like, oh, like that says so much about this man.
Kublai?
You know? About Kublai, yeah. Well, the fact that he sat out on the porch, essentially on the stairs, and listened to this man scream, it just makes my skin crawl.
I mean, his metaphor for the black crane and how he took its one wing, and I mean, he's like, it's mine, I own it, and it's still in my lake. And there's something so interesting about a person who feels that they have the right to things that aren't theirs. Like, no one has the right to a bird's wing. Like, it's a bird, let it fly. But he took away a bird's flight. And there's something so metaphorical without even having to say that to keep something grounded. But, like, put it in a beautiful pond. But, like, a bird doesn't want to be in a beautiful pond. A bird wants to fly, right? So it's a similar thing of, like, you can give 100 Eyes a temple and he can be content with it, but it's not his, and he's not home, and he's not free. And I think most people at their core can be content, but then I think most people would trade in freedom for contentment.
Do you think so?
I mean, well, I think that's the big question.
I think so. If you can rile that gumption within
but
yourself.
I think that the second you don't feel free, though, that contention, like feeling content, becomes a lot more difficult. You know, even if you choose that thing for yourself, I mean, even if it's not as good as what you had you given up your freedom, you see what I'm saying? At least you chose it.
But that's the thing with Kublai. I think he offers you so much. It's kind of similar to what you already had, and on top of that, you're safe. Because even though you're living under Kublai's rule, and you have to kind of make him your god.
Sure, you're safe from Kublai.
You're safe because he protects you from everything. He protects you from the outside and everything. But and he still gives you your life.
But there's something about it that
it's still their life. Like,
that's like
at
frustrating,
what cost, though?
Right? Yeah.
I mean,
at what a price.
Like if they're outside, their life might actually like you'd be your own person, but your life could be really. It actually might be crappier. Like that's, and I think that's the dichotomy that everyone goes through by serving Kublai.
Sure. There was a scene though, and I wrote it down. Excuse me. That there was one scene where he's training, you know, after he's blinded and he's starting to learn to train, and he throws the broom. I was like, wow, that is the first time from memory, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you see 100 Eyes unsettled and not composed. And
That's
I was
true.
like, interesting. Like, very rarely in the first season did we see his cracks. He would come in, he would calm a situation, like he's badass, but he's always got like
contained
that. And when he tried to do it and didn't catch it and he threw it, and I was like, ooh.
I think that's what I mean about like you see someone at their lowest and it's because of this person. And I guess I go to like hostage situations too, or like when someone wants you to be dependent on them, like they take away your food and then they feed you little by little so that you become dependent on them. It's that like sick thing of someone taking your life away and going, well, I have it and I'll give it back to you, but like at the degree in which I allow you to have it back. And so I think when you see someone's low moment like that, you're like, shit, this is so frustrating, and you understand why he could at any moment just like flip and not be loyal to him. But then it's that interesting thing about the Khan that makes him so endearing, that he's like, and this is your temple now. And see, aren't I great?
It's like he takes care of his own in a way.
Very controlling.
Aren't I phenomenal?
But you have no choice in the matter, and that's what makes your skin crawl. Is
Like,
because,
sure, I killed all your friends, but I gave you this temple.
But yeah, I'll take care of you. Yeah,
Because I don't dislike the Khan. I find him very endearing.
He's very chubby and cuddly.
And he's
like
very
Buddha.
wise.
Yeah, Buddha.
I mean, and he can get riled up, but I feel like there's so much wisdom there. But I don't know that you can just say he's a good guy. He's not like a good guy.
No, I mean he's just
an
autocrat.
He's but he's not bad at the same time.
I think they show enough redeeming things in the season that you're like,
here's the thing, they show a lot of redeeming things on like a personal level. Like, yeah, I'm sure, like,
Except
maybe
Jingim. I still don't like Jingim.
we're gonna get to him next.
But Kublai, just in your day-to-day life, like around the house, maybe he's got a little charm, maybe he's not so bad. What you don't see is the poverty and the him like massacring tons of people, and that's all going on, but he's so polite and that you forget about all of that. So
you see him with his harem of women.
Yeah, well, that too, right?
Dancing
More
on
scenes
him.
like that. I want to pull.
Makes me understand. Like, I see that bad of a
yeah,
guy.
Kublai Khan, yes.
Yeah. 6 butt naked ladies on him. That's not that shabby.
You're the man.
Lead an empire. Okay.
I wanted to touch on it because I feel like there are a couple of moments through this episode where they instill a bit of humor, and I feel like it's intentional in terms of whether it's a director thing or it was scripted that way. But for example, when 100 Eyes fights blindfolded before he is actually the snake venom in his eyes, and you don't see him fight and escape. You just are watching these soldiers outside hear it, and I was like, that was a really funny comedic reveal to me that you think he's getting beaten up, and then of course it's revealed I just thought it was interesting. Rather than showing the fight, they just show these soldiers who are so still for ages.
Just like standing aside, and then the one's just like, should I check?
Yeah. So I thought that was funny. I want to move on to the chess game, and then into seeing Jingim train. But the chess situation was quite interesting to me, where he skulls wine. I thought that was kind of a bit humorous for me too. I'm like, 100 Eyes getting loose, like he skulled that wine, and I thought that scene was quite powerful.
Have you ever
as well.
chugged wine? That's not pleasant.
I don't know if I have.
No, and he said, now that I'm blind.
If you want to get into this whole
podcast,
I've got 6 months of chugging wine to really understand this.
Where he was
understand
at.
Oh, I get it now.
But he says
He's
now
just
that
chugging wine blindfolded.
no, it's fine. Now that I'm blind, I see the world with 100 eyes, which is obviously foreshadowing him getting his name later. And then the Khan says, I want you to train Jingim. Now, we're not huge Jingim fans. We're like, this guy's a dick. But whoever cast this kid, I was like, this kid is an exact replica of him. How did they find this kid?
I like the kid a lot better than old Jingim.
Yes.
Completely.
Like young Jingim, it makes sense for him to be like that. And like, it gets me upset because young Jingim, if being mentored, he's been mentored by 100 Eyes so long, you would think he would have got all of this
douchiness.
this
I
douchiness
wrote
out of
that
him.
100 Eyes
so?
dicks
Right?
dicks him, and I was like, we will all cheer because he grows up to be a dick.
100 Eyes did a terrible job. I mean, makes me kind of like question 100 Eyes now. He did a terrible
Question
job of
the Taoist
raising him.
teaching. It's just like,
I feel like 100 Eyes did his best, He saw
Jingim is so
little
bad.
Jingim, and he was like, here's an upside down sign for fire, and I'm gonna do my best.
Guys, being a parent's tough. I mean, especially as teenagers. I think that's the moral here.
He did his best.
He gave him his name. That's kind of cool.
That's
I guess.
powerful.
Yeah.
That was
That's the best thing Jingim's done in a season and a half. In a season and a quarter.
Is season and point whatever.
Yeah.
Is get his name from 100 Eyes.
That was interesting. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are, but like when he starts going through, like, this is the name for silver, this is the name for da-da-da, I was like, where is he going with this? It's like, I think he's gonna be like, yo, you Jingim, you mean dirt.
Yeah, I actually loved watching Kublai's face as that was happening, because the Kublai I thought was thinking the same thing. He was like, where is this going? He was like, am I about to have to kill this guy, or is this going somewhere good?
I feel like in a comedy series, you could have taken that so far.
Oh yeah.
Just stretched that moment for so long.
There should be a parody.
Just everyone waiting as he just goes on and on about the meaning about like the
Other names.
And this black thing means couch, and this means brick. And the walls mean walls, and everyone's like, oh my
10 minutes
god.
up, by the way, your name is True Gold.
Yeah.
I'm out. So he gets the name Jingim, which means true gold. The Khan dubs 100 Eyes his new name. 100 Eyes gives him a new temple. And what was interesting, I don't know if you guys picked up on the music at the very end. Did you guys pay attention to that?
I guess not. Was it, more Mongolian throat singing?
I mean, it was just I don't know if you guys knew that track, but well, I mean, you've got 100 Eyes who remains somewhat expressionless, and it's kind of more in his physicality or his words. And the camera stayed on him for an extended period of time, and the music was unlike anything I'd heard in the series before. And I wrote the words menacing and questionable. Like it left me thinking. My thought afterwards was like, what are you gonna do? Like, I was like, what is that? Because it wasn't like, oh, I'm content with my temple. Oh, this. It was like, plotting revenge is what I thought. What were you?
He's like a black bird that is in a pond going, I'm gonna get my wing back, bitch.
Wouldn't it be crazy this whole time he was just waiting idly? Like a true monk. Like a cricket upon the grass, waiting for its prey.
Wait, Taylor's really good at metaphors.
Did you take lessons from Justin Out?
Like a weasel underneath the deck. Sorry.
What about you, Taylor? What did you think? Did you have a end thought?
So my thinking is more, I guess, production based. I was trying to figure out why.
You probably ran out of money and you got it from YouTube.
What are you doing? No, I was trying to figure out
license the song.
This song was cheaper, I guess. No, I didn't necessarily get it from the song, but I took it from Netflix's decision just to have this sort of origin story.
Sure.
That because I sort of took an opposite thing to you, which was that maybe he was gonna be killed off. I was like, no, he's gonna be very important in this coming season. So important that they want us to get all this information about him to inform us.
6 months before.
6 months before.
6 months to dwell on it,
so
baby.
we can watch it every week for the next 6 months.
Dreams.
Yeah.
So
See it
we
once.
become him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For 6 months. Like, oh my God.
We may just be reading too much into it. They're like, we shot that 100 Eyes thing. We can release
let's put
that.
That was the Halloween costume of the season, no? It's not what you were going for?
They're like, these guys, they're doing an entire panel show.
That's so weird.
So funny.
We weren't even going to release that. We just threw it up one
An
day.
accident.
And we're like,
We got drunk at the studio and threw it up. We didn't think it was going to be a big deal.
jokes on these four.
Well, whoops.
We're like, oh, God.
And then they would win an award for it. Like, it was the one that was like,
We just threw that together with some loose footage we had.
Yeah.
oh God, I hope.
Yeah. They can't get Jingim, so they're like, let's get a kid. We'll get a kid.
We'll get a kid to play.
You gotta finish it up.
You can fight it.
We can get 100 Eyes, right? You think that looks like him? Let's do this.
He's
episode.
available through February.
Like, how'd he go blind? Get snake. Poison blinds
We
people,
don't have a
right?
snake. Use the stock footage from Google. Just
Someone sit behind the snake puppet and spit in his eye. We'll just do all practical effects. We don't have time for editing.
Just on screen.
It was filmed live, like the Fox musical, fully improvised and fully live, just moving cameras, cameramen running.
Marco Polo live
Yeah, great.
on Fox,
Oh my
2017.
I would pay to see that.
We got spin-offs.
But yeah, I'm sure they put a lot of effort to that, though.
Yeah. Let's not discount.
Very seriously.
No, but they should also hire us to help them write the next episode, clearly.
The next origin story.
Yes. Okay, so season 1 finished, refresher. I had to go back. I was like, what was the end note? And it finished with Malin walking up, walking up and seeing the painting that Ahmed had been doing, and it's of him sitting in the throne with the Khan's head.
Right.
He walks up, super creepster behind her, right behind her. I'm like, Malin, you're onto it. You would have heard him because you can hear anything. And
She
he's
can
right
kill
here
them,
until
yeah.
she knows it. And he says, what do you don't like it? And she goes, no, I think it's exquisite. And so you're like, oh, these two are going to try and overthrow the throne.
Yeah.
So, one at a time.
Okay.
I'll start with Katie. We're going to give you guys our predictions. Now, do we have prediction music?
And now,
We should make a
your
mix
AfterBuzz
of this
TV
and the Mongolian throat singing.
Let's do it live right now.
Predictions.
I guess, or we could just do that all the time.
We'll just do that every week.
Predictions.
So, these are our season 2 predictions.
Yes.
6 months early.
6 months early.
Great.
My prediction is that pretty much everyone in his court is going to try and overthrow him except Marco.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I know that feels kind of generalized, but I do think that that's what's going to happen. And I think they set it up in a way that you're like, I think 100 Eyes is kind of sneaky. I think that Ahmed and Lin are definitely sneaky. I think we'll probably meet new characters who are sneaky. I think everybody's sneaky. I
Well,
don't
sneaky.
trust them, except for Marco. But even him, I'm like, you want to leave, you want to go home. But then do you? Because I feel like this is your home now. I don't know.
Yeah, that's very good.
Okay,
Very
Taylor?
good.
Yeah, so I think, now that Kublai Khan has sort of dealt with enemies from the outside, I definitely think you're right. I think he's going to have to deal with enemies from the inside, and that's going to be more of a thing in season 2. Part of me wants to think that he's going to just want to go further south, but I actually predict that the action's going to go further north to, I forget the 2 characters' names, but it's been a minute now, but remember right before the final battle, they took the horses north because they
Biamba
Biamba,
and
yes.
Catalan?
Yeah.
Catalan?
Warrior Princess.
Warrior
Catalan.
Princess girl,
Yeah.
exactly.
Warrior Princess.
I think that they're going to be sort of the next thing that he's going to focus
You
on.
went geographical with it. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think that
Brother?
he's gonna deal with stuff from inside. Also, I think that this is a great hint from Netflix that 100 Eyes, especially at the end of last season too, that combined with this prequel to where you see sort of the justification for why he might want to rise up against the Khan. Yeah, I think that he's gonna have a big part to play as far as that insurgency goes.
Snakes in the garden, y'all.
Snakes in the garden.
So many snakes in the
So
garden.
many snakes in the garden, Michael.
How? What will I say to this? Well,
What do I say to thee?
Well, okay. Well,
Where unto thee?
I'm gonna kind of piggyback on what you said with Jingim and Biamba. I think that the relationship of Biamba and Marco will be tested because they're brothers. They love one another. But Biamba has turned his back on his people and he has left with Warrior Princess. So I think Biamba, I'm gonna go bold. Biamba kills Jingim, Marco kills Biamba, and
This is some Romeo and Juliet stuff, right?
yeah,
here.
I
This
mean,
is-
it's, and 100 Eyes. He's gonna play. I don't think he's gonna turn on Kublai. I think it's too convenient. I think they're hinting at him
sure.
and him turning on
Yeah,
Kublai.
I can see that, yeah.
But he's gonna play a big part in it. Where you're gonna think he's gonna turn on Kublai.
Yeah.
But he's gonna come out and be like, I'm not turning.
So you're
on
saying
Maybe
like you
he's
think that he?
puppeteering.
you. No, I don't think he's a puppet. I don't think he's a puppeteering kind of guy.
That's more
Yeah.
Ahmed.
Gonna keep doing this motion though.
If he doesn't like
Until
that,
you
that,
agree.
though.
you
but
know what? I
isn't
think he
this
is a
cute?
puppeteering
Yeah, I
guy.
see it now. I didn't hear it first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna go with that, and I think so that's what I think happens. I hope not. I like Biamba. I didn't want Biamba to leave. I liked him. I liked their friendship. I liked their.
I liked him.
I think we're
They're-
gonna see more.
I know you
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see more of him though. I think that like we'll see even outside of what happens around Kublai Khan, we'll see stuff with them. You know what I mean? We'll see. They'll have scenes. I hope
Cut
so
to.
at least.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cut
exactly.
to,
Cut to
yeah.
this. Meanwhile,
Meanwhile, up north, they'll probably have the horses.
Children. They'll
And-
probably move forward
Yeah.
in time and they'll have babes.
Maybe, hopefully.
Marco
yeah.
Polo will do like not Grey's Anatomy, which is the ones that jump 5 years in the
Yeah.
future,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
it runs older with kids.
Well, that's interesting. Do you guys think that season 2 will pick up right where season 1 left
That would
left
be
off,
cool.
or is
That's
it going to
very
be
cool.
like into the
I think
future
it'll be a
little bit?
small time jump.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he'll be settled into his new position.
Marco?
Did Marco get a new
Khan, I
position?
think.
Yeah, he should, right? His trebuchet is kind of
I agree.
won the battle in a way.
I feel like Biamba and Marco are gonna come head to head.
Oh, I hope not.
I'm curious to know what the love story is going to be in it,
Where'd she
especially
go?
with Marco, because he showed up and she wasn't there. I just know that was like, it is an important part in any series. You've got like the couple you're kind of rooting for, and
Yeah.
so I'm curious to know it because I feel like that kind of came to a stalemate a little bit.
I wasn't really big on him in Blue Princess. I mean, I was big on Blue Princess.
Maybe someone else will come.
But she
Maybe
looked-
someone else will.
Well, weren't
come
they trying
too.
to marry Jingim and Blue Princess?
At one point, yeah.
The queen was really trying to.
Yeah.
I feel
make
like
that happen.
Ahmed and Jingim, I feel like Ahmed is like in the know, but no one knows his stance at the moment. And I think that Jingim is stupid enough to kind of fall into that. And I wonder if,
That boy is
if
stupid.
Jingim will turn against the Khan at some point, if he has, a growing alliance
I think
with
we can
Marco.
all agree that Jingim's probably going to die. There's too many people that are around him that want the Khan dead, and Jingim's just so dumb that in an endearing kind of.
I think
it
that he could be speaking of puppet masters, he could be the target of someone. Like maybe he's the guy you keep alive, so that when you kill Kublai
'Cause he's
Khan,
the successor.
exactly, he's the successor.
You can control him. Well, isn't
because
that
he is
kind of what
consuming,
Ahmed's
you know
trying
what I'm
to
saying?
do? Or Ahmed was trying to
Probably,
get
yeah.
his
A lot of this.
ends to be in the
A
will.
lot of this. I think,
lot of this
I predict a
in
lot of
season
this.
two.
Yeah. A lot of this going on.
Cool. Did you guys have?
You gotta do it too, man.
You gotta
We
do.
all
We're all doing this.
Everybody's doing the puppeteering,
You
man.
guys making us do this.
Dance smooth of the season.
Did you guys have any kind of end parting things? You happy with that? And any
Thank
other
you,
notes?
Netflix.
Yeah, thank you,
for bringing
Netflix.
us
Thank you.
Marco Polo and
Thank-
this additional 30-minute episode about one of our favorite
That's
characters.
just going to
I
confuse
did
the
really-
crap out of all of us.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Well, I'm glad that they did it.
No, I'm
now
super glad.
that they
It
did it
was
6 months in
great.
advance. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't. That's kind of. I thought it was gonna happen. I thought we were gonna get it. I thought right now we'd be talking about Marco Polo.
Right,
At season
exactly.
2, episode 1.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As opposed, but
like
I mean, at
1 or
least we're
2
getting
months
it.
in advance.
Yeah.
I think it was smart timing, probably keep the hype up. But I just, it's so.
They
there's-
may drop another too.
Wouldn't
We
that be
don't
crazy?
know.
That would be
Yeah,
cool.
that would
Okay,
be
if they
crazy.
keep dropping
They're
them,
like
I retract
Beyonce.
everything.
They're the
Yeah.
Beyonce
And here's
production.
an album. Yeah.
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 An album of Mongolian throat singing.
Yeah.
I think Beyonce could tap into this for
She
a
could.
surprise release.
So if she's got a menacing track, that'd be great. All the out-ons. Cool. Okay. Well, we're excited to come back for season 2 or sooner if they're gonna,
Yeah.
surprise
Yes.
us.
We
We'll
will
see.
do. We're gonna do a before season 2. We're gonna do probably another episode.
Yeah,
right?
we might try and come in like the week before and just kind of like we
Prep.
would love to hear what you guys' predictions and stuff are as
yeah,
well.
please shout them out.
Please let us know. And yeah, we're just super stoked and super excited. We kind of have an agreement that we only watch it week by
Oh,
week.
of course,
Are you,
of course.
So you do
yeah.
that
no,
too?
no, I will definitely not watch.
Taylor
in
is part
advance.
of this.
You're part of
He's
this.
on the island.
Thank you for
tonight.
having me, guys.
We're not
I'm so
running.
excited to be here. No,
Welcome.
I'm very excited, and I can't go ahead because I will then give away everything. So
Great.
I will
Perfect.
watch it hours
Week by
before
week.
I come to the studio.
Perfect.
That's how I
Okay,
have
great.
to do it.
Well, on that note, thank you guys for tuning in. We hope that you enjoyed the little prequel as well and are excited for season 2. In between times, you can get
Yes.
hold of us all. I'm on social media at Kim Crossman.
I am on social media at Michael_Drew, Michael EAL.
Katie.
Sorry.
You can also find me at Katie Wilbert on all the things.
And you can find me on Twitter at Taybolt, Tayboldt, or on Instagram at Tbolt, also Boldt.
And that's all from us until season 2 or next time. See you
Yeah.
guys. Thank you. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.